Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
When you wake up early, it's just you. The world can wait, right? Emails can wait. Text messages can wait. The boardroom can wait. The playing field can wait. The court can wait. Everything can wait. And I can get dialed in with what I've been called to do. I can get dialed in with why I'm here. What is my purpose without any outside influences or stimuli? I don't need coffee right now. I don't need alcohol. I don't need an outside stimuli to get my day jump started. I just need to get up and get dialed in. We want to be successful, but we don't want to get dialed in on a morning routine. It's unbelievable to me how much we want success, but we don't want structure. Put away the devices, put away the distractions, put away the outside stimuli and the influences and all of the voices and get dialed in. If you're listening to me, let this be a moment of transformation and motivation, but let this moment not just move you, but change you to take action. Why am I here? What have I been placed on this earth to do? All of a sudden, when I wake up and the world is sleeping, I get a different perspective. I can get my agenda, my targets, and my aims crystallized in my head. And whatever becomes clear in my head, I can hold in my hand, period. All of us has this power within us, this force of nature that we have not tapped into. There's another level. Life is lived on levels, and these levels are unlocked by taking action. My question to you is, will you take action and do something out of your paradigm? If you're going to obliterate programs and patterns, then you've got to do something different. Shake it up. Wake up early, man. Get up. It's time for an identity shift. It's time for elevation in your relationships and in your health and in your mindset and in your approaches and in your strategies. It's time to get into this space of innovation. It's your time. It's your turn. The wait is over. Get up and give back to yourself. If you're listening to me, get up, get up, get up, get up. It's time to go.
You have to understand, if you don't execute on the plan, if you don't get up in the morning when you're feeling tired, scared, if you don't execute, you're not just cheating yourself. You're cheating your family. You're cheating your employees. You're cheating your team. Whatever you're a part of, it's bigger than you, man.
Hard work works, y'all. See, some of you have dreams and goals, but hard work, you can't get around it. I wish there was a magic wand that I could wave that your passion, your dream, that thing you want to achieve, it could just happen, but it can't. Hard work is required.
What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? What if you're not the only one that wants what you want? What if there are thousands of other people who want what you want? You have to outwork them. You gotta outgrind them. You gotta get up earlier. You gotta stay up later. You gotta execute, and you gotta go from 7 to 120.
I think a lot of people feel this enormous pressure to achieve this millionaire, billionaire status somewhere in your 20s, 30s, 40s. It is very difficult. It is for very few and far between. I hope everybody understands, if you put in 18 hours a day, every day of your life, and you suck shit, you lost. You know why I'm sitting here right now? Because I outworked you. Zoom in, I outworked you.
Before I ever stood on a stage, I cleaned one at an old Baptist church. When everybody left, I stayed vacuuming when nobody was there. That's how I got the microphone. I didn't get a microphone because I can talk the best. I didn't get a microphone because I can sing the best. I got a microphone because serving kept elevating me everywhere of my life.
Because we all think that if we pray on it, if we do this, if we do that, whatever, we don't work, whatever, it's gonna magically happen for us. No, I believe that when I'm all said and done with, my whole job is to outwork the chart. Gotta keep putting in the work. Every day, 1 is better than 0. Gotta keep putting in the work, putting in the work, putting in the work. The hard work matters, and the patience is what overrides it.
You gotta work. What happens if you wake up 30 days later and you there? What happens if you wake up 60 days later and the change is coming? You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna wake up 60 days later, 90 days later, and everything's gonna change but you. And you're gonna get the same results you got before it happened because you're the exact same person. So work while you wait. You cannot stop.
We all have greatness. You gotta find the courage. You gotta find the courage to put your Bose headphones on and silence the noise out of this world and to find it. And to find it because it's out there, but it's gonna take hard work, courage, self-discipline. It's gonna take all the non-cognitive skills. All the non-cognitive skills to be great. You know, smart is good, all this stuff is good, that's all cognitive. It's the non-cognitive skills that set you apart from everybody else. And that's what it's all about.
Now, I don't know what your goal is, but I want you to visualize it right now and repeat after me with power and conviction. Let us say together, it's possible. Together, please. Say it again, please. See, that's the first step. I want you to think about this goal that you want. I want you to envision it and see it in your mind's eye. And every day, say to yourself that it's possible. See, most people are not accumulating wealth. Most people are living in poverty. Most people are living far below their potential, not because they don't have the capacity, not because they have not been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth, but most people are living like they're living because of the fact that they don't believe they can have any more than what they now have.
Listen to me very clearly. Every A is not an A. I don't care how much you can jump on Google and get the answer and get your report card or your grade sheet or your teachers or your school to think that you're getting the A. If you're cutting corners, if you're taking shortcuts, every A is not an A. You're not robbing anybody else but you.
So I need you to work while you wait. I need you to work on your focus, perspective. I need you to see difficult differently. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? I need you to see it differently.
You know, 5 steps to greatness. No, it ain't that, brother. You read my book, this is hard work. It's every day.
There's so many people who want to lead that can't follow. I'm saying this because everybody wants to get to the top. If you're trying to get on top, I need you to work the level you're on right now. Can you clean bathrooms? Can you sing for the kids? Maybe singing for the kids might be the thing that gets the whole world knowing your name. But because you think it's small and insignificant, you won't even do it.
Just keep working. If you were told you were gonna get that promotion, just keep working. If you were told you was gonna win that championship, just keep working. Nobody said it would be easy. Again, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So I need you to work on your faith. I need you to work on your faith. I need you to wake up every day and say, today ain't the day, but my day coming. And I will not give up, and I will not give in until I get to that day. I will not stop. I will not give up. I will not give in until my day comes.
You have enough right now to flip this world upside down. You have enough. You got enough power. You got enough anointing. You got enough grace. You got enough patience. You got enough gifting to make your money, get out of debt, get yourself together, and change everything about your world.
For the things that I'm wanting and believing, I just have to do everything possible that's within my power. And there's some things that aren't within my power, and that's where I trust God. But what isn't within my power, it's whether it's getting the proper sleep, whether it's learning your lines, whether it's researching the character, whether it's working out or eating healthy, or whatever it is that you need that's gonna make you better at what you wanna do. It's doing every single bit of that you can possibly do, and going above, not just doing just enough to get by, but going above. And then after that, it's like, if it's supposed to happen, it will happen. And chances are, if you do the work, it likely will happen.
It's about whatever you think you are, you have to make that dream a reality. But that's where the hard part is. is making that dream reality. That's where the hard work comes. That's where people know, how do you keep grinding every day? You have to make those insecurities, those fears. Like when I was 300 pounds, I didn't have any drive. I'm gonna go be a Navy SEAL. What kind of stupid is that, 300 pounds? There wasn't like a drive to go be a Navy SEAL. I was an insecure, lying kid, afraid. I had to look at my insecurities and in my fear and find drive in that. We're all looking for passion. Passion's all around you. You have a whole stack of it all around you. It's your insecurities, all that it's all in there. All the energy and fuel you need is right in yourself. It's all there. You got a lot of stuff to do to overcome. And you know, that's where I found it. I found it right there in my own insecurities. I found drive in my own insecurities. And that's the most powerful thing in the world. When you can find drive in your own doubt, fear, insecurities, you become very unstoppable.
I need you to work on yourself. Are you hearing me? Look, you can't change what you can't change. Stop trying to change the situation. It's not yours to change. Stop trying to change your wife. Stop trying to change your husband. Stop trying to change your kids. Stop trying to change your boss. Stop trying to change the program. If you could change it, it would be changed. There's only one person you can change, baby, and that person is you. Work on yourself.
What advice would you give the 20-year-old version of yourself?
I think the biggest advice I could give myself is effort is everything. And you can decide, are you putting in the most amount of effort that you can? Because on days I can only give 60% and I give 60%, I give 100. The question is not how do you develop the motivation to keep going? The real question is how do you develop the discipline to do the stuff you need to do even when you don't feel like doing it?
And it's gonna cost you something. It's gonna cost you more time than you thought you'd have. It's gonna cost you some friends who couldn't make the entire journey with you. But if you sign up for the inconvenience, then the goal will take care of itself. Every day say yes to whatever it takes, no matter what.
The major key to your making things happen in your life is you.
My truth and my experience has been I have to jump higher, I have to show up earlier, I have to be the first person to turn off the light and the last person to turn off the light. The way that I show up is by being consistent, so consistent that people cannot doubt your capacity to succeed. You have to work harder than the average person.
Now, don't get me wrong, I still have my bad days. I'll be like, I hate this sucks, this is terrible, but I'm still doing it. You know, that's the problem. If you're gonna complain, I'm not saying to not complain. I'm saying to complain and do it. That's all I care about.
During that point, what did I do? Is I did what I preach to all of you, which is I put in the work. You want the secret? It's called work. You have to figure out what you're trying to achieve and what you want, and then you need to put in the work that maps to that ambition.
You always want to blame other people. You want to hold other people to the fire, but you're not holding yourself to the fire. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? Don't cry to quit. You already in pain, you already hurt. Get a reward from it.
It's necessary you take responsibility for it, that you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program. Say this to yourself every day. It's not over until I win. You've got that right.
Motivation plays a huge role, but I'm a big believer that motivation comes after action. Okay, so stick with me. Motivation comes after action. The question is not how do you develop the motivation to keep going? The real question is how do you develop the discipline to do the stuff you need to do even when you don't feel like doing it? Floss one tooth. Go to the gym and lift one weight one time. Then you can stop. Then you can go home. Then you can stop. more than likely, because you already got there, because you already started, you're going to finish. Getting there is the majority of the issue. The discipline to start, that's what you need. The motivation to keep going comes after the action to start. So on those days you don't feel like it, if you know you need to, you have to.
Do I think you could be a success without being consistent? Perhaps, if you have other resources and tools that I was never given, but coming from where I am, my perspective has only been consistency, and the discipline has been everything that I have ever gotten on the back of doing it again and again and again. It is what I teach, it is what I preach, it is what I believe.
That's what a lot of people do, is they try and attack a big goal with intensity instead of consistency. They try and just go. They're like, okay, Monday I'm gonna go get fit. I'm gonna do 2 hours of cardio. I'm gonna eat only chicken, brown rice, and broccoli 6 times a day. I'm gonna do... You've never done that before, 1. And 2, you know that's not sustainable. You can't outdo the need for time and consistency. Intensity still has its place, don't get me wrong, but misplaced intensity, I feel, is the #1 reason why people fail their goals. And that's not just fitness. That's with business, that's with everything. Instead of just adding intensity, you have to be consistent over time. Not consistent for 2 days, not consistent for 2 weeks, over time. You know, if you do the work, you will more than likely get there.
So the physics of progress is you come up with a hypothesis. It should be as informed as possible. You figure out a way to turn that into something you can actually do. So you're going to run a test. Then you actually run that test. And then this is where most people fall down. You have to lower your psychological defenses to stare nakedly at the results. And oftentimes that's going to be you didn't do something well, you didn't think through this right, you made a mistake somewhere. And then if you're willing to do that and you learn from that, then you can re-inform your hypothesis, make it a little bit better, run that whole system again. And once you get in that loop, then you can really make progress. The tenacity it takes to face your inadequacies and continue to try, that's where we've succeeded.
I cannot tell you the number of businesses I've had that have failed, but I learned from it. And it gave me the wisdom to go on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And so when you focus on your personal growth, what happens is that even if a business fails, even if an idea fails, you emerge from it with new knowledge, new data points, a new version of yourself that can do better on the next idea or the next business.
People hear that jump in the net will appear, jump at like the universe has your back, and we love it. We're like high-fiving because we've been on the other side. But like there have been plenty of times where there was no net and like the universe was just like, I see you, I'm not putting my arms out, because you needed to fall on your face. And like I've just realized that as many times as I have gotten back up, I was supposed to fall. I was supposed to face plant. And the less time I spend groveling in the gravel, the faster I find my next success. The biggest difficulty is that people fall and then they stay down. The greatest entrepreneurs are the people who understand that falling is part of the process. So if we just said, I'm going to fall now and I'm going to fall probably another 175 times before the end of my career, if I look around and say, this is normal and every entrepreneur faces this, then yeah, it sucks. And yeah, I took the jump. And yeah, I didn't end up where I wanted to, but do I have the courage and wherewithal to get up again? And if the answer is yes, you're going to be in business. And the answer is no, you're going to go back to your cubicle and live a very predictable life that is not as fulfilling as you once hoped.
Most people can only see these are the 152 ways that this could go wrong. And we started doing that to say, no matter how outrageous, there is a way to pull this off. So what would need to be true for this to work? Stop telling me all the things that aren't going to work. Tell me the thing that is going to work. And once you get to that, you're okay, well, if we did X, Y, Z, it would work. Okay. Now, are we willing to do that, yes or no? And if we're not, is there another thing that we are willing to do? But at least now we're operating from a position of that would work, and successful people are about that. I never know if I'm right, and I go all out every fucking time. And I'm just trying to make it happen. And so I have the courage of conviction to say, I know about myself. I will keep going until I figure this out. Not that I already understand everything, that I have the courage to figure this out. I'm not telling you I already understand everything, but I am telling you I will not stop fighting until we get to the other side. So if you can manage your emotions, if you've got the courage to fight through that storm, if you're not easy to knock off your pedestal and you're humble enough to know that you're almost certainly making mistakes so that you know when to correct course, that's the recipe.
Your excuses will destroy you and take everything that you ever wanted from you if you let them. When your excuses make you feel a little bit better about the fact that you didn't execute on what you needed to execute on, then they can make you feel better, but they're not helping you. They're not helping you at all.
Why does discipline equal freedom?
Because the more discipline you have in your life, the more freedom you will end up with. So if you lack the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up being a slave to disease. If you lack the discipline to work hard, save your money, you will end up a slave to finances. If you lack the discipline to manage your time correctly, you will end up with no free time. If you have self-discipline, if you have the discipline to save your money and work hard and invest your money properly, if you have the discipline to manage your time correctly and not waste a bunch of time, if you have the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up with freedom. If you want freedom in your life, you have to have discipline. Because if you're a kid right now and you're eating Doritos off your belly, I know they taste good and there's some immediate gratification, and I get that. But I'm gonna tell you, it starts right now. Throw that bag of Doritos away. Get rid of it. Go do some push-ups. Go spend $12 at the hardware store and hang up a pull-up bar in your room and start doing pull-ups. And if you can't do one pull-up, hang on that bar. And you're gonna start to get a little bit stronger. You're gonna start to get a little bit healthier. You're gonna start to get more focused. You're gonna start to become more resilient. And you're gonna start to understand the world better. And you're gonna start to progress in every aspect of your life. And you'll see that if you have that kind of discipline right now, you're gonna end up with freedom. Because you're sad, now you're gonna make a bunch of bad decisions because you're sad. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You're sad, okay. You get emotional sometimes, okay. Got it. Now, get control of your emotions and carry on with your life. And sometimes you're gonna get hit with those waves, and that's okay. No, at a certain point, you say, okay, my emotions are now leading me down the wrong path. I'm in control. I'm not gonna allow my emotions to make my decisions. They're in the calculus. I'm not saying take your emotions out of the calculus, but they have to be one component of your calculus, not the whole equation. You can't pull them out of there or they'll bite you, but you can't make them the overwhelming denominator of everything that you do, or it's gonna be problematic. You have to start moving forward. You have to start taking steps in order to improve your vision, improve your perspective, change your perspective, make some kind of progress. And worst case scenario, you figure out that you walked the wrong direction. Okay, now you can go walk in the other direction. And that's gonna be fine. But standing there lost and not doing anything is just waiting to die, waiting to starve to death. Don't let that happen. I had to condition people to take action, even in the SEAL teams. Even a young SEAL leader who you would think would be by nature aggressive and an action taker, you put them in a pressure situation where there's not a ton of information and they need to make a decision, they don't want to act either. So one of the things that I would teach was that their default mode was to be aggressive. Their default mode was to take action. I would teach that. Same thing we just discussed. I wouldn't say, hey, look, that means you have to take action, but your default setting should be, I'm gonna do something. Because I'd have a young SEAL officer and there'd be some training mission and there'd be a problem in a building and there'd be a bunch of paintball flying around in there, and he wouldn't want to go solve that problem. He'd back away from that problem. And I would have to go like push him in the back and say, you see that problem over there? You got to go solve that problem. It's not going to go away. You got to be aggressive. That's got to be your default mode, is to take action and make things happen. Because most human instinct is to wait. Most human instinct is to hesitate. Most human instinct is to let things go longer and stick with the status quo. And that seems to be on the front, the lowest risk in the situation is to not do anything. It usually appears to be the lowest risk. So to train people to, oh, I need to take risk, some level of risk, take action, because in the long run, I say 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 times, action is better than inaction.
If someone was on the extreme end of that disease of excuse and blame and all of those things, is there anything that you could do or you would advise them to do to kind of walk back from there, to get over the other side? Because I think we can all think of people in our lives, and maybe even ourselves at times, who have gotten into a chronic pattern of using excuses and blame as a form of self-defense.
Well, unfortunately, what happens a lot, and you may or may not have seen this, but I would assume you've seen this at some point in your life. People, and this is a term, there's a term, it's rock bottom, right? This is a term that we hear for someone that's addicted, someone that's an alcoholic, someone that's physically let themselves go, someone that's put themselves into a situation with their finances or their work or whatever, where they reach rock bottom. But when the excuses all go away and people can actually confront the fact that this is all because of me, and it hurts, but is also unbelievably empowering, because if these problems are because of me, then I'm capable of fixing these problems. So even though extreme ownership hurts and is painful, it's also liberating, because now you have control over your fate and over your destiny, and that is a glorious thing.
Are excuses the opposite? Excuses and blame, is that the opposite of extreme ownership?
That is the opposite of extreme ownership. Extreme ownership is, this went wrong, this failed, didn't accomplish this, and it's not the fault of my boss, it's not the fault of my girlfriend, it's not the fault of my parents, it's not the fault of the weather, it's my fault. And I'm gonna take ownership of it, and I'm gonna fix it. That's what extreme ownership is. And this is a very difficult thing to do because it hurts. Because when you look around at your life, and you look around at your job and your financial situation and your relationship and your physical health, and when you look at all those things and all the problems that you may have with those things, and you say, the reason I have all those problems is because of me, that can hurt, that can sting. And a lot of times our ego rejects that and makes excuses and lies. And then we don't have to change anything. And then nothing changes. What you learn to do is, okay, I'm gonna go forward. I can't get out of this. I'm gonna go forward. I'm not gonna quit, so I'm gonna go forward. Bring it on. If I'm in the woods, which is where you are right now, you're in the woods and you don't know where to go because the wife's not there anymore, the job's not there anymore, you don't know where to go right now. So if you're in the woods and you don't know where to go, start walking. What you learn to do is, okay, I'm gonna go forward. I can't get out of this. I'm gonna go forward. I'm not gonna quit, so I'm gonna go forward. Bring it on. And I think if there's anything that you learn, it's to keep pushing through things that suck.
Can you teach that? Let's go. We're gonna jump back in the water. Let's go.
I think that's one of the few things that you learn in basic SEAL training is to shrug your shoulders and go forward. This is just something that's gonna suck and you're gonna have to push through it.
What's the difference if I just sleep in 1 more hour a day? What's the big deal if I waste an hour on social media? What does it matter if I just watch an hour of TV a day? If you spend 1 hour more sleeping in instead of waking up and attacking the day, just 1 hour, you have lost 22 days to deciding to play small. What could you do with 22 extra days?
When something happens, a meeting gets canceled, right? There's a curveball, it's a snow day, right? They take that as vacation time instead of adjusting to it. See, the truth of the matter is, being efficient, executing, shooting for those big goals is predicated on your actions. The simple answer here is very simply that you need to work harder and faster. There's really nothing else.
At the end of the day, you can't replace hard work. Don't compare yourself to other people's giftings. At the end of the day, hard work works. Hard work can always outwork talented people who don't want to work that hard.
I don't come from, a whole track record of success, right? I don't have the perfect upbringing. How in the world am I going to win? And I got to fix the way I look at time.
You don't need the perfect teacher for you to succeed. You don't need the perfect classmates for you to overcome. You don't need to be in the perfect setting. Nah, even when it's not perfect, you're gonna make it. Why? Because you're fueled on the inside.
The truth is, you gotta find something within. You gotta find something within, and that's gotta push you, and that's gotta elevate you, and that's gotta drive you. And when you find out what your why is, you don't hit snooze no more. You find a way to make it happen.
You may actually be behind your destiny right now. Like maybe you're not on pace. In fact, I think most people watching this will say, I am behind on achieving my destiny. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I feel like it's slipping. I feel like I'm behind. So you better figure out time differently. And you can bend and manipulate time to your advantage.
Rule number 1, there are no more 0 days. What is a 0 day? A 0 day is when you don't do a single solitary thing towards whatever your dream or goal is in his life.
Just because I've had a bad week where I was overscheduled or distracted or I was sick or whatever and I wasn't writing, that doesn't mean all is lost. Like, I just have to sit down tomorrow, or better, I have to sit down now and I just have to do a little bit, right? And that's what starts that process again.
If you put in the hard work and you take control and you respect your dream and you respect your craft and you're willing to sacrifice and to get serious about that thing, I promise you over time, you're going to see the thing come alive.
There is no perfect moment. Now is the only perfect moment you need. Stop waiting for later. Now is the time to say, I'm going to be successful. Don't wait for later. Say, now is the time that I'm getting in them books. Now is the time to say I'm gonna make the next step. And the reason why you gotta make that decision is because distractions are gonna come your way.
If you're not in control of your aversions and your desires, right? These are the two forces of human life. What you want, what you don't want. If you're not in command of what you do, what you think, it really doesn't matter what your legal status is, right? You're not as free as you think you are.
So get to know those two different types of feelings and ask yourself which one you want to feel in 10 minutes or in a half an hour. When the thing is done, when the discipline has been implemented, remember what that feels like, and then remember that those minutes and those hours, they turn into weeks and months and years, and holding the line in those critical minutes will put you in an infinitely better place, physically and mentally, if you maintain the discipline.
You could be a little better today than you were yesterday. And that's a good thing. You're a little better. That's a good thing. And no doubt there are some things that you could improve. If you sit and meditate for any length of time about what you're not doing optimally, answers will spring to mind. You could be getting up earlier. You could be watching YouTube less. And like I've seen this be effective in many, many cases in my clinical practice, for example. It's like you take stock of where you are, you know, what your advantages are, what your disadvantages are, and then you start with a little humility on the path of incremental improvement. And, you know, incremental improvement compounds. And so you can get a long ways. And then it's, you see, because trajectory in some sense is more important than position. Got the bare necessities of life, and so you're not surrounded by absolute privation. What you really want is to see that you're on an uphill path, you know, something that's got the right slope, and you can start anywhere on that path, and you can improve 0.5% a day or 1/4% a day, and you think, well, that's not very much. It's like, it's 100%. If it's 1/4% a day, it's 100% in 4 years, and that doesn't count compounding, you know, which means it's actually going to happen a lot faster.
And that's duplicatable. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. It's not just applicable to the most talented person or the least.
No,
Anybody
I think that the possibility that you can make yourself slightly better on a continual basis is, I think that's something that's accessible to everyone. I think that's equivalent to leading a virtuous life.
The one benefit of people dying is the one way that they can go on living after they die. One way they can improve us and help us after they're gone is the reminder of the fact that they're not here, which will be true for you at some point. That's one of the things that the loss of people that we love can do for us. And so what did you do with the time that you've got? And the fact that you get tomorrow and I don't is a gift that you should not take for granted. It's like, hey, none of us get forever. The song ends at some point.
Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, and it's necessary for you to challenge yourself to go after it and get better and leverage relationships that can help you get to where you want to go, but it's you. The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution is you.
You went through all of the struggles, all of the challenges, but you made it, and here you are. The work needs to be done.
If it's going to happen, we are going to have to eliminate excuses.
It is possible to fully commit yourself to something. It is possible to accomplish what you see in your head. The question is, can you give your all?
You need to shut down all negativity. Believe in everything that you are and understand that within you there's something greater than any obstacle you'll ever face.
Whatever situations that you had to endure last year, leave it there. It has nothing to do with what's coming right now.
Because if you don't feel this fire, then it's not a dream. If you don't get up when the count is at 9, you don't want it enough.
If you can hear my voice, you've got work to do. You've got a destiny to fulfill. You've got a purpose to walk into. You've got a test to pass.
You're about to be given a second chance at greatness, a fresh start. We need to change that internal dialogue. It's time to step into the shoes you were meant to wear.
What people think about you and the possibilities for your dream is none of your business. That's their business. They have no imagination, ladies and gentlemen. They're living out of the past, out of their memory. Their attitude is it can't be done because they haven't seen it. They're judging according to appearances. The people that are going to make it in the future, the people that are making it today, let me share something with you. History is being read, but it's also being written by people with imagination.
This is your life, my friend. And I'm sure when it's all said and done, you don't want to look back and see that you wasted it. This is your life, my friend, so you stand up. This is your life, my friend, so you rise up. This is your life, my friend, so you keep going. This is your life, my friend, so you never give up. This is your life, my friend. You need to keep going.
This is the year I give it everything I have. This is the year I stop complaining about the past. This is the year that I don't make excuses. This is the year that I embrace my non-negotiables. This is the year that if I see it in my head, I can hold it in my hand.
And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do, do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender and say, okay, all right. I cooperate. Okay, I learned. Okay. So if it's hard, then do it hard.
Last year, you didn't know how you were going to get through it. Last year, you didn't know how you were going to stand on your 2 feet. Last year, you were looking for something, but you just couldn't find it. But somehow, you made it to where you are today. Now what do? You can't dwell on it. You can't hold on to it anymore. You got to focus on right now.
If you can hear my voice, if you are tired of where you are, if you are tired of not hitting your targets, if you are tired of not being aimed and intentional and assertive and consistent, if you can hear my voice, I'm just wondering if you are bold enough, daring enough, if your faith is outrageous enough to take a chance on yourself. Just get through the process. It's worth it.
That as you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through.
Stop justifying your laziness. Stop choosing mediocrity. Be better than who you used to be. Be better than who you are right now. Everybody else puts off everything until tomorrow, but not you. You are going to choose to be better today. You are going to push through the struggles and hardships that come up this year. You're going to grind until you are exhausted, until you feel like you have nothing more, and then grind harder to achieve more this year because you deserve it.
You've been beaten, you've been battered, you've been broken, you've been betrayed, you've been lied on. It's time to hit back. Life knocked you in the mouth years ago and you haven't hit back yet. You hit back with determination. You hit back with focus. You hit back when you are disciplined. You hit back with resilience.
The future is unknown, but if you prepare for it, if you're ready for it, whatever the situations that may come your way, whatever circumstances that you must face, give all or give nothing.
But I want you to understand that mistakes turn us all into winners.
This is an every single day mentality. I don't know what your story is, but if you will keep a no excuse mentality, then the sky is not your limit. The sky is your starting point. This is an every single day mentality. I never get turned off. Every single day, I want my destiny. I want my dream.
That is not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. And not only that, but that faith and patience drives you into action. You've got to keep moving.
Unassisted his first time up tonight. He hits that one high and deep.
Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before. So I had to be here. I had to come. Even though I was afraid I might make a fool of myself. In fact, if you really want to know the truth, I had to come exactly because I might make a fool of myself.
Now, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying, I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it.
Before you say I want to be famous, that's fine, table that, scoot that over. For what? What do you want to do really well? There's, the old word, 15 minutes of fame. There are fads that come in and out all the time. They're very seasonal. We can do heat seek and chase them. And we do all the time. I got nothing against that. But understand that that may not be lasting. And when you are going to do something that you think, oh, this is going to get me more likes or give me some fame, just check in with yourself and go, well, if that goes out of fashion, or if in 10 years, as far as you can project, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, am I going to still feel like I will stand by that? Just measure yourself. Give yourself a little projection before you go. Because we could do stuff right now to get famous that we will absolutely regret tomorrow.
One of the hardest things, which became one of the greatest realizations, is truly coming face to face with myself and realizing, even though I have done extraordinary things in terms of my own thinking patterns, that there was a level to which I was still on the run. And all of this racing around kept me from having to truly stop and stand with the woman in the mirror and just be still and figure out, well, what do I really want? How do I really want to feel?
So how important is it to write down our dreams, our goals, our values in order to manifest and attract them?
I think it's a lot more important than we give it credit for.
And that's what I think is actually really important, because you did create a contract with self.
Right.
You signed the goals at the bottom. You have 10 goals in life, 9, 1, 92, and at the bottom you signed it. And I think that's really important in creating this contract with self, is putting your name on something that you write down from the ideas in your mind into paper so that you can actualize this in life.
Those 10 goals, I wrote those down in the top bunk in the Dell House, University of Texas, 1992. My roommate was Monty Wills. I remember the night I wrote them down. Wow. I never looked at them again. Huh. I found those in writing this book and found out that, oh my gosh, all 10 you actually did and 4 you're still doing.
So didn't you write yourself a check? I heard that you did. Is that true?
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years. And I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. And just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on Dumb and Dumber. Maybe.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah. So you visualize yourself visualization works if you work hard.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. You can't just visualize and then, go eat a sandwich.
To actually write it with the hand is a different kind of objectivity you get, because it's come out of you, you've put it down, now you're looking at it. It's outside of you. It's freed up now. It's alive. It's moving. If you're writing down true goals, they become written in your lineage. They become written in your body, whether you know it or not, in your subconscious. It's a way to get it into your subconscious. To write it down, now it's out of me, it's on a page, I'm objectifying it now, I'm looking at it. So now I'm having a dialogue where before it was just Socratic. But now I'm having a dialogue and it starts reciprocating.
Your brain will let in anything that it believes is important to you. The Zeigarnik effect is the documented fact that when something is important to you, your brain opens up a checklist. And now your brain, once it puts this item on your checklist, it will store the checklist in your subconscious. It's encoded in your RAS, and your mind is now on the alert to spot things related to it. The way that you make yourself feel like something is important is your nervous system goes on alert while you're thinking about it. You're either super excited about something, oh, this is super important, or this is the trauma effect. You go on alert and you have something really bad happen, which is why things continue to bring it up throughout the rest of your life. So when you understand that if something's important to you, your filter will change in real time how you see the world. You now know how to change your brain to work for you. People are making a fundamental mistake. You are withholding the very support, empowerment, and celebration that you need to change and to do the hard work and to face the things that you're scared of. And that's why you're not changing. In a moment when you feel alone, you can give yourself the boost, the support, the empowerment that you need to keep going.
Like many of you, I was concerned about going out into the world and doing something bigger than myself. The imagination is always manufacturing scenarios, both good and bad, and the ego tries to keep you trapped in the multiplex of the mind. And if you listen to it, there will always be someone who's doing better than you. No matter what you gain, ego will not let you rest. It will tell you that you cannot stop until you've left an indelible mark on the earth, until you've achieved immortality. How tricky is this ego that it would tempt us with the promise of something we already possess?
Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living."
You got one life to live. It's time to get it done. And this is a very simple but powerful truth. But oftentimes it is not easy. Stop waiting for the conditions to be perfect. They're never gonna be perfect. You're not gonna always feel like it. You're not gonna always see it. You're not gonna always have a resource. You're not gonna always have a handout. The question is, how bad do you want this? How bad do you want this? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to let go of some things? Are you willing to put the work in? Are you ready to be consistent? Are you tired of this version of yourself? The prize goes to the hardest worker in the room. If you can hear my voice, if you are tired of where you are, if you are tired of not hitting your targets, if you are tired of not being aimed and intentional and assertive, if you can hear my voice, I'm just wondering if you are bold enough, daring enough, if your faith is outrageous enough to take a chance on yourself. Stop waiting to feel like it. Stop waiting until you see it. Stop waiting for somebody to come and save you. Nobody's coming to rescue you. Nobody's coming with the resource. Nobody's gonna be able to pull you out of the murky water, out of this muddy, bloody, painful, miserable place that you're in. You're gonna have to make up your mind. Enough is enough. I'm getting out of this place, and I got stuff to do. I've got assignments to finish. I've got a destiny to fulfill. It's time to listen. It's time to focus. Man, let's go. It's time. And so the reason why you don't have what it is that you see, the reason why what's in your head is not in your hands, it's not your reality, it's because your perspective opposes your potential. You don't have it because you don't see the value in it. If you are going to give and grow and evolve and attain and become Everything rises and falls on your viewpoint. Perspective is everything. Let's go. I need you to hear me loud and clear. How you see this thing is everything. You cannot change the past, but you can change your perspective about it. Your viewpoint is your advantage. Your viewpoint is what changes the game. What haven't you been able to accomplish? Is it financial? Is it relational? Is it your health? Is it mental? Is it spiritual? What has stopped you? What has haunted you? Why are you losing sleep over it? Energy flows where focus goes. So what are you focused on? The problem with many of you is that you're focused on your fears. You're focused on the risk more than you are the reward. You're focused on the pain of the process more than you are the glory on the other side. All roads lead back to what you're focusing on and who you're listening to. You're listening to the wrong people. You're listening to the wrong voices. You are subscribed to the wrong programs of thinking. And so if you haven't been able to get it done, today marks the first day of the best days of your life. I'm talking to you, the person that there's been this insurmountable feat, this giant in your face. The trial, the tribulation, the adversity, the giant is not your assassin. The giant is your opportunity. So where focus goes, energy flows. It's time to pull that energy from fear. Pull that energy away from doubt, out of anxiety, out of insecurity, out of competition and comparison. If you're gonna get it done, I need you to listen and focus. Are you gonna complain in the face of conflict, or are you gonna seize the opportunity? You have not been able to get it done because you're carrying so much weight from the past. You don't feel like it. But newsflash, at the end of the day, you can listen to 1,000,000 motivational speeches, but you are going to have to wake up and make a decision to get it done. The problem with many of you is that you're not tired enough. Put your blinders on, straighten up your back, get over the pain, get over the trauma, get over the betrayal, get over who left you, get over who lied on you, get over it. If you're gonna get it done, you've gotta get over it. Release the pain, release the unforgiveness, release the fear. You have everything you need to get started. Stop waiting for the weather to change in your life. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for a handout. Stop waiting for everybody to believe in you and cheer for you and affirm you. Stand in a mirror and tell yourself, I've got a destiny to fulfill. Get it done. Let the world reject you. Let the world close doors on you. Let the world tell you no. I'm just wondering, can you dig deep inside yourself? The future belongs to the hardest worker in the room. A wise man once said, it's always impossible until it's done. So get it done. When you wake up, life will knock you in the mouth. It's time to hit back. You've been beaten, you've been battered, you've been broken, you've been betrayed, you've been lied on. It's time to hit back. Life knocked you in the mouth years ago and you haven't hit back yet. Get in the ring and hit back. You hit back with determination. You hit back with focus. You hit back when you listen. You hit back when you obey what is right. You hit back when you are disciplined. You hit back with resilience. Life has hit you too many times. It's time to get up and hit back. It's hit back season. Life has hit you and put you flat on your back. Get up and tell every hater, tell every doubter, tell every manipulator, tell every liar, everybody that told you it wasn't possible. Every time life knocked you in the mouth, puts you flat on your back, it's hit back season. Get up and hit back. Tell everybody you're coming for everything God has destined you to have. There are people who are dead and gone, and they will never be seen again on the face of this earth. You are here and alive today. Seize the opportunity. It's the start that stops most people. Start now.